Sound check. Hello? 1 2 1 2. Hello? Hello? 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Hello? Can you hear me? Sound check. 1 2 1 2. Sound check. 1 2 1 2. Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the RDS Round 1. We're currently in the qualification run. And as you can see, this is a Russian Lada. This is a Russian manufactured car. It's quite amazing. They put a 2J in it. It's 500 horsepower. And as you can see, it's a real difficult course. If you make any mistakes during your initial touch and go, as you can see, he's coming in now. If you don't swing out wide, he cut in a little too short right here. So on the kickback, the touch and go point was pretty good. But if you don't get into the angle deep enough, you have a tendency to either run out the course, as you can see right there, or you have a tendency to be in a little too short. So it's still a practice runs. These guys are just getting ready. They were doing great during their initial practice early this morning and yesterday. So hopefully they can continue on. So we've got Fyodor Fedorov, and he's about to go now, as you can see. So let's see how he does on his entries here. The judges will be a little more of a formally deemed technique this year. It's a little new to a lot of the Russian drivers here. And just so you understand that you get points for styles, performance, smoke, aggressiveness, commitment. It's pretty much the same format as Formula D does. So I expect a lot of great drifting today. Great action. All right, so let's kind of set in, and I'll start introducing the drivers as they come around. Okay, so we're about to start our next driver here. This is Ilya. Wow, 96.83. So, all right, these guys are actually coming out quite hard. Ivan Kudabin is coming in as 2JZ RX7. Let's see. Okay, he hit that touch and go wide. Tires off the track, but there allows for slight compensation. That's what we're Kicking point was actually pretty bad. So we really need to see run. The outside touch and go was actually kind of neglected too. So hopefully he'll get good points. He didn't really lift off throttle, so that's always good. The deceleration point is after, or should I say, right before the first corner. As you can see, all right, the touch and go. So that was great up to this point. His line is actually coming in a little short. They want you to be on a wider line coming through, and then the pylon you see right there is actually the pylon that, of course, would be your first clipping point. And it's necessary that you throttle all the way out. So I think he'll get mid 80s perhaps, but we'll see what the judges have to say. All right. Oh, okay. He got a 76. For number 11, that would be Ivan Kudinov. So we are starting. We're actually staged right now to see what's going to All right, while we're ready to start, say it's a beautiful day here in Moscow. The weather's great. It was predicted to rain, but it looks like, wow, okay. So the score just came in for Arkady Patinin, and he got 97.8. So that's actually a really great run. I think that's actually a really good run for the qualification wise. So, all right. So we got round 2. We got Arkady Patinin coming in. He's known as the police here. He does his ceremonial police runs as part of the tradition here at the RDS. He missed his last clipping point, so he may not get his highest score. The last touch and go was actually hit very well. So let's see what they'll give him on his latest one. Okay. But he's holding a solid line. He's actually doing a lot better than we saw in the practice. So I think he's actually going to be a contender for today's qualification events. So you've got to love that. So yes, that's actually a good run. If you're noticing, they're doing 5 cars at a time. for the qualification runs. That way everything runs smoothly and doesn't eat
И
up a whole lot of
второй
time.
сегмент
So
уже видите, это
see what kind of
касается
score
того,
he'll be
насколько
getting
быстрые
on
перекладки,
this
насколько
last
четкая
run.
постановка, насколько в целом ритмично, насколько
Okay,
более
he got a
цельное представление
75 for run 2,
создается
so his
от
highest score
проезда
so far
пилота.
is
В общем,
78.
несложно догадаться, что это самый, пожалуй, сложный всех критериев и самый дорогой, если
And
за
Fedor
траекторию
came with
пилоту по
98.8,
30
so
баллов
that is
максимум
actually
может
a
получить его
great score.
до
So here comes the
самого
Russian
и
base Lada.
целых 40 баллов. Посмотрим, насколько
Is
максимальную
Fyodor
удастся извлечь Воробьеву во время своей
Vodobriov.
второй попытки.
In his 2JZ powered Russian Lada. Seems like he had some trouble actually in the entry, which is actually sad because he was doing so well. Let's see if he can continue on for his last run. I believe this is run 2. Could be mistaken. I'm pretty sure this is the second run. So it's really saying hopefully it's not car trouble and he just kind of wobbled during that entry, because this is one of my favorite cars. So I'd really be interested to see how he does in the tandem series if the qualification is made there. It's really an actually strong driver, so there might have been some kind of issue in the entry or not. Only time will tell, but hopefully he can make it through. Great person, great driver, so let's just hope that it's just considered a bobble. And then we shall continue on. So, coming up next is the Team Fresh. Anton Slavinsky is another 98.6. Wow, these guys are actually putting up great scores today. That's great. And we've got the green flag. Let's see, this particular Anton Slavinsky, it's very important on your second run or even any of your runs that you actually come into that first corner hot. Because if you don't, basically you're going to either end up taking a short line to try to make it to the end of the track or not making it or going out the course. So he took a good line initially. His clipping point was a little out, but he hit the 2 touch and go. So he might actually get another good score in his last run. So we will see here in a minute how well he actually does. I'm pretty sure that the judges are actually, like I said earlier, going more of a Formula D type. Up to this point, they did more of the Japanese style of judging, but now you have the 3 segments for Formula D, or should I say the 3 style, your style, angle, aggressive, commitment. Well, it's a little more than 3, but well, you guys get the gist. Those of you guys that have actually been tentatively watching. This is actually this is actually a good run, so I expect to see a good points from him. But once again, the judges are in a better position to see and actually give the score. So we'll see what we get from this gentleman here. Hmm. 96.8 from Mr. Krimbin. All right, so we're getting the top qualification points. Are actually, these guys are getting really good scores. I mean, this is actually the first heat, so we can expect a good day of drifting all day if they continue at this particular rate. So we got an FD Power RX-7, Ivan Krimbin, and there was a slight bobble right there, and the clipping point was actually kind of wide. Let's see if he can make it through the touch and go, and he was a little short here too. So this actually might be a slightly lower score than previous, but only time will tell. So we'll see here directly when they actually put the scores out for him. As you can see here, okay, the start point was good, but like I said, you really want to go wide. You see, he hit the touch and go here, so that was great. The touch and go here, so yes, the judges are looking for a wide line right here. And yeah, so he kind of floated out on the clipping point. So we'll see what kind of scores that he'll get for that run. This gentleman is another great driver. He had the practice runs were pretty solid today. So hopefully that he'll be able to pull out a top score enough to stay, or should I say finish through the qualifying runs. Wow, okay. So, Kurimbin, ranked 1 so far. So we'll see how this continues. Now, fun fact, this course is one of the more difficult courses in Russia. And as you can see, the level of drivers is actually very good. These are more the elite drivers. Really love the family, the camaraderie that we get when they're here. They really, wow, okay. So on the entry, Andrei Ostapov messed up, and his rear view mirror is actually about to fall off his car, so that is not particularly good. Lexus IS 2J, 500 horsepower. Andrei Ostapov is actually a really aggressive driver. He has a really great driving style. It's unfortunately that he spin out on his actual initiation, but let's see if he can pull out a better run on this next section. Yes, and once again, it might be his aggressiveness that made him come in a little too hot and basically spin out. But like I said, this gentleman is a really, really good driver. So hopefully he can get higher points on his next run and make it through. If not, I've got nothing but respect for these guys, because if you could actually come out here and see this track, it is, not only is it beautiful, it's long, it's fast. You could, I mean, the skill level has got to be top notch for you to make it through. So he got a 0 for this first run. Wow, Ilya Fedorov has got a 99. That is a top qualification points. That is amazing. He's driving a Nissan 200 SX with VR38, 580 horsepower. Okay, so he's coming through the sweep. Very nice. All right, let's see if he can tuck in and get that clipping point. Yes. And he has. So, all right, so he's made it through the second touch and go. Goes out wide. The judges want you to throttle all the way through past the last pylon, and he's done that. So I think that's a good solid run. Definitely. That's a nice solid run for him. So we shall continue to see. Hopefully he gets a good score for that. Like I said, the judges have a better view than I do. So, but from looking at me, I would at least think that was actually one of the better runs from this first group, or should I say the first qualifying group so far. Man, you've got to love the way the VR38 sounds. It's one of my favorite engines, especially it's in a Nissan body too, so that's just one of my personal prejudices, or should I say one of my personal loves, if you will. So we're 92, okay, yeah, so he's actually gotten, that was a great scoring run so far. So let's see if we can keep up this high level of competition for this next group. And we have Stepan Azarov in his Nissan Sylvia S15. This is a rare swap. This is a Evolution engine, Mitsubishi. If you guys don't know, the entry was all okay. He bobbled on the entry. Let's see if he can still come through and at least pick up some points, because you'd rather get some points than an actual 0. He actually held up through that last curve, though he was wide on he was wide on the clipping point, but he hit the last touch and go. So only the judges can tell. But his initiation, it's a shame that the initiation was bobbled, because otherwise I think it was a pretty solid run. So let's see what the judges are going to do for him. As you can see, coming in, there was a bobble right there, or a little understeer. He hit the first section. He's accelerating through, so except for that, the problem at the initiation, he was actually doing pretty good. So let's see how many points he can squeak off here and see if that's enough for him to make it into, or should I say, past the qualification rounds. He's another one of the aggressive drivers, and if you've ever get opportunity to come over here or even see any of the Russian drivers, they have really aggressive style. They're not afraid to get into the throttle. So it's really fun to watch. So, okay, he got an 84, so it's not bad. Hopefully he can make it through the next round. We'll see. Only time can tell. But let's see what the other performers have set up for us here. So, okay, so whoa, waiting. Nikita Scoffs, SR20 DEP 425. He's actually one of the lower horsepower cars. Actually, one of the lower horsepower cars for the day. Nonetheless, he is a solid driver. Less chance to get off the throttle when you have the lower horsepower cars. But during the qualification, or should I say the initial practice runs, he was a strong performer. So we'll see if he can continue on this. This was not one of his better runs, but I do believe within the 3 qualification runs that he get, I do perceive that he will make a better run as we come through. And as you can see, the kick back through the touch and go, which is good. You really want to get in deep on that, but he ended up getting pulled into that center line. And like I said, the judges really want you to stay on an outside line and then come up through the clipping point and then hit the touch and goes. He did hit the outside touch and go, so we may see a decent score from him. But like I said, only time will tell. We'll see here in a minute. What score? He got an 80. Okay, so we've got another run. He committed, stayed through for the rest of the round, so he was able to get a score. And like I said, you want to get something on the books instead of a 0. So we have Arthur Milkman, and we have his S14 Sylvia. Over here in Russia, you will see a lot of 2Js. Majority of the field here today are 2Js. He has 590 horsepower, so he's not the most powerful in the pack, but he is not the slowest either. He has great runs all day, and as you can see, he came out, hit the first, second, little in tight, but he's been constantly hitting or consistently hitting that last clipping point during his practice run. So we'll see. He hit the last 2 touch and goes. Unfortunately, he was a little on the inside line. So we'll have to see how the judges are going to judge him. Now, he throttled all the way through. He didn't get off the gas until he actually hit the deceleration zone. So it was not his best run, but I do believe he is good enough, or a good enough chance to make it into the next round. But once again, that's completely up to the judges. They have a better view, and they're actually outside there in the action. So let's see how he continues through. The judges don't want you off throttle until you pass the final cone. That's why you see that plume of smoke until the end. And it's hard to see on the video, but this is the elevation coming through that first sweep into the long turn. 91. Okay, so he did get a good score. So wow, that's a pretty good score. I thought it was going to be a little lower than that. So he's actually in good standings in his group, if you will. So this is Ivan Nikulin, and he's got the SR20 VET, which is becoming more and more popular. High revving engine. And so let's see, he's coming into his entry. He hit the first touch and go and the second area. All right, so he's actually having a solid run. He's keeping that. Could be a little more outside, but he was able to tuck it in and get that clipping point. All right, nice to the kickback. Nice solid acceleration, full throttle going through the last area. So that was actually one of the best runs that I've seen today. So that's good. I think he'll get good points for that. This gentleman, too, is another one of the more aggressive drivers that I've seen. Of course, the SR20 VET that he's actually driving in, and I believe it is still a 2.0. So it's a more expensive engine to get a lot of horsepower at, but he's been driving consistently and has had very little maintenance problems. So that's good. Love it. Great drifting. That was a spicy run, if you will. Yes, definitely. So let's see what the judges have for this gentleman. I believe that was a solid run, and hopefully that'll be enough. 93. All right, so he has taken, well, he's ranked so far in the points in his qualification group. So next up we have Ilyaf. Hold on, I do not want to say his name wrong. We have Ilya Fedorov, and he's coming in with his VR38 powered car. He's coming through for the first. All right, good solid line. He's holding up. Okay, he got pulled in a little bit, but he did manage to carry it around. The clipping point could have been tighter, but good solid run. Accelerating all the way through the last pylon. So yes, good solid run. Let's see if he gets a better score than his first run. Yep, coming through, and yes. Yes, that was a great run. I just, these guys, I wish everybody could have made it out here to just see how insanely fast these guys are actually going around the track. I'm just completely impressed. The control level is insane. And you go up and talk to any of them, and they're just like the politest guys on the planet. You wouldn't even know they're drivers. Or pilots, as they call them over here. So, all right, so he got it. Okay, second run, 92. So that's a good solid score. I wonder if anybody will get anything higher than a 95. Like, it's a difficult course, easy to make mistakes. So we'll see. So we're waiting here for Stepan Azarov and his Mitsubishi power plant powered Nissan Silvia S15. Those who don't know me, I actually live in Japan, so I get to see a lot of interesting variants on Silvias, and it's the first time I've ever seen a 4G63 in an S15, and it sounds amazing. So here we go. We're going to see he has started, and we shall see if Mr. Azarov, the initiation. Oh, he bobbled again on the initiation. See, okay, now he's completely off the course. Touch and go blown. See if he's going to stay committed. That way, at least he can get some points. Coming around, missed the clipping point. Okay, so it's just obvious he was off rhythm. It's the beginning of this run. This is another really solid driver. Yesterday and today, really great runs from him. The car's been running fine. You haven't seen any maintenance issues, so it's just something about that initiation. It's just timing is off. So hopefully his last run he'll be able to get that together. But only time will tell, as I keep saying over and over again. And this team is auto profile. They have 3 cars that have competing today. All the cars are actually nice. These builds are actually nice, clean. The drivers are awesome drivers. So I hope he gets better points on his next run. Like I said, another solid driver. There's actually all the drivers out here today are very strong. So, okay, yeah, he got a 0 run from going off the course. So he's going to have to do a lot better on his last run, and I wish him nothing but the best of luck. So we have Nikita Scoffs. It's another, as I said earlier, it's one of the lower horsepower cars here, SR20 DT. But he is not afraid to throttle through the turn. So let's see if he can able to match his angles up. The only problem about having the lower horsepower in this particular track is if you don't get a perfect line, it's really hard to make it down. Okay, so unfortunately he spinned out at the end. I'm not really sure if he just ran out of lock or what was going on with that. It's a shame because I expected a lot stronger run out of him. Hopefully he can get his timing together. If not, he was having a little trouble during the practice runs too. So I think it was just finding that perfect line for him. It has been a little difficult, but all a great driver. So, that was an unfortunate spin. Well, okay, so let's see what the judges have for him on this run. And no, okay, so it was a 0. All right, that is unfortunate. So we have Arthur Milkman in this 2JZ 590 horsepower Nissan Silvia S14. And you got to love the S14s. It's one of my favorite cars because I have 2 of them. So there you go. So he's coming strong into the entry. Like I said, this guy is a mean driver. Spicy drifting all over the place. He's coming through the second, touch and go. Well, now this is actually a near perfect line. Expecting a really good throw. If you tuck in on the clipping point, yes, he hit that better than anybody else. So I think this is actually the best run that we've had so far. Throttled completely through to the finish. So that was just an awesome run. This guy, his vehicle just danced. He just danced his vehicle around the track. And that's what it's all about. This particular course here, it doesn't really leave a lot of room for bad lines, especially if you're trying to get points to qualify. During the tandem, it's also going to be difficult if you don't get your perfect line. So it is absolutely, I said it 3 times just so you see what I'm saying. It's important that you get your initial line. If you mess up during that first touch and go, then everything else is just out of whack unless you have 1,000 trillion horsepower and massive skills. So there it is. As predicted, he got a 98. So that is a great score. And he's currently top runner. That is actually going to be hard to beat. I think there's only a couple of drivers that will be able to link it in. Like I said, this is a very difficult layout. So if you see any mistakes, don't think that there's a bad driver because these guys are really good. All right, so we've came through. Hit the second touch. There's a slight bobble right there, unfortunately, and the inside line is not going to get enough points. There was another correction. And they're looking for fluidity in your transitions, and those bobbles actually cost you a decent amount of points. But he had a solid run. He's going to get points all the way through. We had a couple of gentlemen have zeros, so it's possible to squeak through to the next round at this particular point. But yeah, these runs are definitely going to have to be cleaned up if he's going to want to make it through to the finals. I mean, that's an absolute something that's going to happen. But I think he can do it in the future. Like I said, during practices, he was doing great runs. And I believe he shall continue as such. Okay. Full throttle through the other one. The speed was good too, so we see what did he get. All right, so his first run is his highest point, so that's going to keep him still as ranked second. So that was actually still doing good. I actually think he can easily get a 97 if you had seen the way he was driving earlier. So we'll see with Mr. Dmitry Yermohin. Dmitry Yermohin. And he is in, he only has 400 horsepower, which is quite common for SRs. The field, your average horsepower for the field today is between 5 and 800, and we have 1,200 horsepower and 1,000 horsepower car. So he's actually one of the lower horsepower models, but he's a very aggressive driver. He fully commits. So we shall see if he can get that perfect line and stay on the throttle long enough to where he can actually fill in. 400 horsepower, it is, as you can see, it's easy to link the track, but you really just don't have a lot of leeway if you get in a bad line and you end up doing things like you did, pulling the e-brake, trying to adjust your line. You can't over throttle to slide your car out, so it's just pretty much you and your traction. So, but great effort. And we will see if his points are enough to make him through. Like I said, he's a really strong driver, so the first run, unfortunately, was a 0. So, sorry, everybody, I didn't catch that score. So we have Gotan, Chieftain, and he is a very, very popular driver in Russia. He's a champion driver, as a matter of fact. He's driving an SR20 VET. 530 horsepower. His actually main car, dropped the sleeve, is a SR 2.4. So he's borrowing his brother's car, and he's going at it. So he's a very aggressive driver. As you can see him coming through the first touch and go. There it is. Nice kickback, just a good spicy drift, as I like to say. There was he was a little inline on that particular area of the course, and you're going to see that a lot today because it's really hard to stay on that outside line. You usually have people run out the course, but you will really see people really hit in, because it's very important that your first kickback is in the right area. As you see, like I was explaining earlier, he came through here heavy, but you want to be on the farther outside of that, and he pretty much followed it through. But that e-brake to adjust the drift, or should I say to be able to reach to that next section, is going to cost him some points. He hit his last 2 points, so there's no problem with that. So I think he'll get a decent score for that, and hopefully his next run will be more fruitful, if you will. Oh, like I said, the judges have a better view than I do. I stand corrected. Wow. Gota got at 95, so that is one of the higher scores today. Like I said, he is a champion, so very skillful driver. I was looking forward to actually seeing his SR24 VET, but as you can see, with the SR20, still good. So we have car number 32, which is Andrei Piesegov. And R32. So very, very wide. he was actually having, during the practice runs, he was actually having trouble finding that perfect line. A couple of times he got it, but this particular time it just seems like there's just a his balance is off in the track. But I have seen him clear this and actually do really good runs. So hopefully this is just knocking the cobwebs off and he'll get a better run this time. These days he's hitting the proper points, but the bobble right there, slight off throttle. You got the e-brake to adjust through here and just wide on that clipping point. So the initiation, when your initiation's off, you're just pretty much going to drag through the rest of the course. But hopefully he'll be able to clean that up and get qualifying points on his next run. That's his first run, so we shall see if he's able to get top rank or not. He has the talent to, so there it is, 75. Not one of the best runs that I've seen him do so far, but great driver. He should be able to do better on this next group. He has 2 more chances in the qualification. So, and this is Dennis Miguel and the Toyota Supra and 752J engine, which is very popular. So we've got the green flag, so he should be coming in. And let's see if he's going to come in hot or not. And not. But nonetheless, okay, so he's coming around. It's in, yeah. Just from the initiation to the bottom, it just was not a good. Oh man, so all right, he's gonna get a 0. That, and it's a shame. Another great driver, very aggressive style, and his car is really built, real powerful. So I thought we were gonna see plumes of smoke coming through the end, but like I said, it's just like dance. If you're not on to the beat, so he still has a couple of more runs that he has to clean it up. So I pray he gets it together, and if not, then he'll just have to try hard at the next round. But I think he'll be fine coming up here. Hopefully he didn't damage his car. So yes, fortunately he got a 0. Hopefully they can pull his car out without any damage. To all the Japanese fans of RDS, はじめまして、私はグレグです。住んでるのは宮崎、生まれがアメリカ。今日の RDS はフォーミュラ D のスタイルでジャッジし方しますんで、ただのスピードだけじゃなくて角度、スタイル、勢い、狙いポイント、細かくジャッジします。点数取り方は結構難しい。90点以上見たら結構速い走り方しましたんで、よろしくお願いします。今日は35台。一番上のエンジンは 2J。一番少ないのはまずラッシャーのラダっていう車と、ラダは一応 2J が住んでますからすいません、間違えました。では皆さんよろしくお願いします。ぜひ見てください。ちょっと暇あるときは日本語で説明します。わかんないことあると、わかんないことあれば、フォーミュラ D ジャパンと同じのルール仕方してるんで、フォーミュラ D のサイトとか見たりしたら多分ルールの説明が出ます。よろしくお願いします。So, okay, I was just giving a shout out to the Japanese fans of RDS, or just the people there just watching inquisitively. And so, okay, so we've got him pulled out, and we will be starting our next driver here in a few seconds. It looks like he doesn't have any actual damage to his vehicle, so hopefully he'll give us a better show on his next one. I know he's quite capable of it, capable driver, or should I say everybody in the field today is professionals, so look more to seeing that. I really like the 8.0 Supras. The Russians have a interesting body styling kit for the front. You'll see in all the other Supras today too. Very sleek and fast looking. Well, you'll have to see. You'll see as the day continues. Most of the 8.0 Supras have that same similar body styling to it. So you'll see, especially the one that later on that Christoph Blues will be driving. So, all right, so we have number 34, which is Maxim Devardowski, and his LS7 500 horsepower. Oh, I'm sorry, I was caught up in his entry. It's a decent entry. He could have tucked it a little tighter, but he made it through the second. He made it through the touch and go fine. Kind of an inline. Oh, yeah, he missed that clipping point, so that's going to cost him. Oh, for some reason he quit. I wonder what that was about. Well, hopefully his car is not damaged and he'll be able to come through and pull through on the next sections of runs. It's a really shame. Very powerful car. The balance is set up really right. It's got the perfect setup for this particular course as well. Some of the drivers were complaining earlier that they needed a lower final gear due to them basically running through all their gears by the time they got through the high-speed portion of the track. But this car was actually hitting it quite effortlessly even yesterday once the rain cleared up. So hopefully there's no major damage to his vehicle. That was just a bobble. I would really like to see him make it into the tandem competition. Really aggressive driver. And yes, goose egg. So, all right, he got 2 more runs. Let's get it together, people. We need the beautiful drifting. Okay, so now we have Ilya Arkhipov. Sorry, these names are a little difficult for me to pronounce, but I'm trying my best. Don't want to disrespect anybody. So Ilya having a good, okay, we have a great entry. A little off the course here, but hopefully he can, okay, so the last touch and go was a miss, so there's no way he'll be able to stay on the outside line. And he's doing good adjustments, but as you can see, when your line is wrong, it's almost impossible to hit that clipping point without slowing down. Hopefully the judge will allow him to get some points as opposed to a goose egg or a 0 for those who don't understand what that terminology means. And we will see. Yes, it's unfortunately, or it is unfortunate that we had, okay, that was a bobble there. So, okay, so that's going to be a lower scoring run, but he stayed committed, finished all the way through. So that's also an important thing. It's best to try to stay on the books. I don't know if that course out is going to cause him to get a 0 or not, but we will see here in a minute. See if the judges are feeling giving or if they're feeling non-forgiving. Let's see what we got going on here. What do we got? Let's see. Okay, 64. So, like I said, it's better to get some points than none. He just bobble comes through from the actual initial, so there's no way he could have finished that one. So, Dmitry Armokin. This gentleman is actually having good runs earlier today too, so we'll see what's going on through here. All right, he's coming in. Oh, wow. Okay, so he went off track, but let's see if he can finish and get through the initial clipping point, and kind of heavy braking, but it was in the deceleration zone, so the judges might not bang him too much. The angle was pretty decent. He could have came in with a little more angle on that initiation, but since he bobbled, or should I say, since, as you can see right here, coming through here, it was, and that just pretty much threw everything else off. Of course, he will get kudos for commitment, and he didn't stop. He throttled all the way through, but unfortunately, that is not going to be a high-scoring run. It is a competition with a lot of cars, so not getting a goose egg can actually still be an assistance so you can make it past the initial qualification. So we'll see. Oh, Oh, wow. Okay, 91. So mid-range score for him. So like I said, it's completely up to the judges whether how far off the track you go is going to count you a zero or not. Well, he was aggressive. So we have Gotan. Gotan, of course, he's coming in hot. This guy really likes the throttle. All right, kick back. Let's see if he can keep an outside line. Okay, there was a heavy correction right there, and the clipping point was a little wide, but it was a good solid run from Gota. So, and you don't see him a lot in Japan, but the Dodge Challenger front end to me is just cool. You gotta love it. There's so many different types of cars here, and even in drift now that it's the same car. You have four of the same car, and they all look completely different. Awesome stuff. So as we continue here, like I said, as you saw, the strong correction here through Gotia might cost him a few points, but the rest of the run was pretty solid. So we'll see if he can get one of the higher scoring runs, or I definitely believe he's in the 90s. Easily, no doubt. So let's see. Okay, once again, like I said, the judges have a considerably better view than I have, and they're the final word on that. And there it is. So we have Androv Pezagov. He is also one of the veteran drivers in the RDS series. And if you didn't catch it, we're currently in Moscow. His first run was a little lackluster, but he's actually coming in a lot more aggressive this time, a lot more angle. He's hitting the zones a little better. We had he's just off rhythm today. He still has one run left, so hopefully he can do a little better. Committed to the end, so hopefully he get points on the book, and then we'll go from there. I wish him luck on his last run coming up here. I'd like to see him make it through to the round, and I'd like to see everybody make it through the round. But I really like the really aggressive drivers. This guy's not afraid to throw that angle out there. So during the tandem, it'll be a real interesting and interesting show. So we'll see. Hopefully he can get his rhythm back, his timing back. Seen him do amazing drifting before, so hopefully he can get back into that kick, get that glitch, get that shine. Okay, so we have an 83, which is better than his first run. That's going to put him at rank 7. So, but if he doesn't get at least into the 90s, then there's a chance for a wipeout. So we shall see. Coming up here in this great competition that we have today. And once again, for our Japanese viewers, 今回の単走は5台ずつで Qualification ランをします。一応3回走って一番高い点数が残る決まりがあるんで、今日は日本人ドライバー第5斉藤さんが来てますので、マーク2のチェイサーだから、もし第5さんのファンだったらもう Stay tuned、英語になるとで、彼は結構調子よく走ってるからかっこいいの走りは絶対見せるんでよろしくお願いします。 Alright, so back to my English speaking fans and or just anybody just watching. We have a couple of special cars today that are actually going to be more of a treat. We have a car, which is one in the world. They call it a Flanca. This guy basically got a Corvette and completely built an entire car, engine and otherwise. So, okay, so we've got Dennis Miguel in his Supra, 750 horsepower, so he's got the power. So hopefully he can hold tight. Oh, man. Okay, so the entry was already bobbled. Let's see. Hopefully he can pull through to the end. Okay, he was a little short in the touch and go. Inside line, understeered, spin out. Okay, so another unfortunate run for this gentleman, but he has one more chance. So hopefully he can get it together, get some good points in there. If not, there's other stages this year. And like I said, all the drivers here are really, really experienced, really good drivers. So sometimes you're just on rhythm, sometimes you're not. What can you say? You know, it's like anything else. I mean, I have trouble eating breakfast sometimes. So that'll tell you how I am in the morning. So we're waiting for the green flag. And there it is. Unfortunately, it's another goose egg. Hopefully, the last one he gets together, get some points on the board. If not, he will be left off. So Maxim in his LS7. As you can see, the V8s are abundant here, as well as the 2Js. As you see, his entry spot. Okay, he was a little short. Could have carried it farther out. Hopefully, he can still maintain a good line. And unfortunately, he pulled it out, but he's going to wash out during the clipping point because of the inside line. Missed that first. The second one was a little sloppy, so okay, I expect a low score on that particular run. Sorry about that. I will say he is not afraid to accelerate. This car is one of the builds that I thought was particularly amazing. Today, it's a nice solid build. Even though the car appears not to have a lot of suspension travel, the suspension setup is great. It's got a lot of traction, and hopefully he can stick around and make it to the last round. We'll see how his points read up on this next section of the competition. And as we wait for his next score, all right, so wow. Okay. Well, it's better than a 0. Hopefully, he can maintain, push through, and make it to the end. We shall see. So here comes Idia. Yeah, on the entry, it's a little too much angle, too short. Yeah, there's no way he's going to be able to, yeah. Fortunately, he's a fast driver, but that first, your rhythm gets knocked off, you miss that line, and it is just over with. As you can see time after time. Like I said, this is one of the more difficult courses in Russia. And you would be amazed at how far a lot of these drivers have come. We've had drivers that have traveled 5,000-6,000 kilometers to get to this competition. And Russia is big. If you haven't looked at a map lately, it is a big, big country. So these guys are committed. They travel all over. You have guys coming from Siberia and Kyrgyzstan and just all over the place. And and the camaraderie is amazing.
Итак, 27 баллов за траекторию, 22 за угол 33 балла, 48 знак ставит Whelan. И очень неплохой на общем фоне итоговый результат, будет забавно. Ну а вот и Никита, человек, который снабжает своих посты в Инстаграме хэштегом, который я просто в одном эфире проявил. Флангер F называется эксклюзивный автомобиль, построенный в течение достаточно продолжительного времени. Но теперь общественность явно результат, и стоит посмотреть на него. В основе
As you can see, for his initial run, you can tell he's probably still trying to get used to the car. They're still knocking some of the cobwebs, well, not really cobwebs. This is something they just got finished building, so still getting used to the car. I'm pretty sure they still have some suspension setup work and stuff that they need to do. But as you can see, it's a beautiful car, and it's more than enough power, more than enough traction, and more than capable of top ranking scoring automobile. And the driver is a great driver. So once him and his car unite, unity, they get in there, you know, peanut butter and jelly sandwich type coordination between the two of them. I expect to see high 90s from him. Hopefully he can pull that out today. But unfortunately, this particular run, that is not what happened. But still looking forward to seeing that again. And this is our secret guest driver. Everybody calls her Kate. She's been a pro driver for 2 years. This is her first competition in this Altezza. It's more horsepower than the last car that she had, so she's still filling it out, but we will see. She's very aggressive. She is definitely capable of getting good scores here, so we'll see how she pulls this off. Getting used to jumping from about a 400 horsepower car to 700 horsepower car is definitely a task. All right, so there's a little off throttle there. Seems like she might be a little timid of the speed that the car is. It's a lot faster than the car that she's been competing in so far. Unfortunately, she gave up at the end. Oh man, you can't do that. You got to try to do what it do. Get farther, reach farther. But okay, like I said, she has more opportunities to try to get a better score here. Hopefully she can get some rank in here. But like I said, she's a very sweet person, easy to talk to, aggressive driver. She competes a lot in the ice driving that they do over here in Russia with the frozen lakes and the Russian Ladas and a couple of the other Russian manufactured cars. And I believe that she can get a better score than this. So we'll look forward to seeing her on her next couple of runs. And definitely give her props for stepping out here with all these other. This is a tough field to be one of the newer drivers in. So we will see coming up here soon. And of course, didn't commit at the end and basically stopped drifting. So that's 0 for her. All right, so next up we have, hold on, I'm going to get this right, Arvar Mustakamov and his 2J 500 horsepower Altezza. Okay, so far the entry has been decent, a little wide off the course, and a bobble, a correction. Inside line, not afraid to throttle. Gotta love him for that. Did not come out of the drift, even though He missed the clipping point, but I do believe he can at least get into the 80s. But as you have seen so far, I am wrong a lot. But like I said, the judges are in a better angle from what I'm seeing on my screens here.
проездом, который вот здесь бы не наносит. Это сейчас самое главное, не обнулить себе первую попытку.
Yes, okay, so it came a little hot, a little wide there, and it pretty much just messed his line up. But once again, you get points for commitment, and as you can see with that plume of smoke, he is not afraid to accelerate. You know, the boy got a heavy foot, so that's definitely going to go into his favor, and maybe midfield. Let's see how wrong I can get with this one. High 70s, high 70. There it is, booyaka. All right, I'm starting to get my game together here. All right, so that was Mr. Mustafov. Okay, now this one's going to take me a few seconds to pronounce. Hold on, party people. I've got this. Yevgeny Ruzhenikov. Ha! How about that? I pronounced it. So he's coming into the entry. I don't know if they're going to charge him on that actual initiation, but no. He is actually not having a... Okay, so something's going on here. Either the car's not running well, or missed the gear, or just was not feeling it. He's going to throttle out. He's going to go back, get his head together. I guarantee you we get a better run out of him the next time, because he's had some good solid runs today in the practice. I pretty much watched the whole practice because it's good weather. Now, if it was raining, I might not have watched the entire thing, but that was actually a really good, well, he had really good runs so far. So I hope it's not car problem and it's just a little lack of concentration. I expect we will at least get, he's capable of 90 scores easily with the runs that he was doing earlier. So hopefully in his next two runs, we will see that from him, because I took a lot of effort to say that correctly. And that was number Mr. 5, Mr. Ruzhenikov. 71. Okay, so it's a low score, but it's not a 0 and it's not the 60. So we'll see if anything can come of that. Mr. Daniel Markel in his chaser. Like I said earlier, he is a smooth drifter. A lot of smooth transitions. He doesn't really throw the car around the track, but he does, like, you know, basically how the Mark IIs drift. I mean, you have a lot of people that can really hammer it in there, but your four-door sedans are known for their smooth lines. So we'll see. As you can see, it's a considerably better run than his first run. A little wide on that turning point, but he's all the points. So as predicted, he had a better run than the first time. So hopefully he's warming up, taking the steps up to the next flight, if you will. And by the third run, I'm going to go ahead and throw it on the table. I think he's going to get 5 more points than the run he had this time, unless he got like a 95, something crazy like that, because 100 is really hard on this particular course. But I'm looking forward. Who knows? The day is early. The competition just started. Somebody might pull 100 out. And if they do, I'll be in here doing the Greg dance. You know, if you ever get a chance to see it, you'll love it or hate it. Just like me. Nonetheless, we're continuing on. Really looking forward to seeing what kind of score we're going to get here. And he throttled all the way through, so 88. All right, so he got 6 more points. So let's see if he can get 93 on the rest on the next run. He's doing pretty good so far. So let's see what the flanker and D. Kaba. This guy is a great gentleman. He's one of those people that can just make anything. So we'll see how the flanker's running this particular round. All right, so his initiation kind of set him up on a bad line. But with 800 horsepower, he may be able to actually set himself up. Okay, I mean, you really slow down coming through that clipping point, but let's see how frisky the judges are feeling. I personally just give 50 points because the car is off the chain. I mean, how many people can drive one car, the only car in the world, you know, and built it themselves? So I say 50 bonus points for them, and the judges are not going to do that. But nonetheless, that's why I'm not a judge. Moving on to, like I said, his last run. The slight bobble may cost him a few points, but like I said in my crazy prediction of the day that I've been doing so far, 91. I mean, I can only be wrong, right? Nice throttle worked it in. It was one of the more smokier runs. Of course, when we have Arcady, Daigo Saito, and Christophe Bruce through the rough. I'm actually, me and the judges are starting to get in line here. That's a 93. That was a great run in the Flanca. So we have Katie coming up on her next run. Unfortunately, she got a 0 on her first run. But like I said, she is a very aggressive, or should I say she is a very fast drifter. She is not afraid to accelerate during the ignition and everything. Hopefully, she's not intimidated by the power of a new car. Like I said, 300 extra horsepower is a lot of extra horsepower. And I see in the future, as she gets more and more used to the car and fills it out, that she'll be able to get higher and higher and place higher in the rankings. But hopefully, you know, this run, let's see if my magic telepathy is going to kick in here. I'll say maybe, boom. I'm going to cheat. She's going to get between 80 and 92. And so we see, okay, she's coming through here. Sweep is good. Notice she has a tendency to overcorrect. We have the slight bobble here, but she's throttling all the way through here. The line was a little closer in than the judges would like, but as you can see, she is not afraid to drive that car, and she is doing it. So let's see what kind of score she gets here. Now, I gave a big wide margin, so there's really no way I can be wrong on this particular score. She's going to get between an 80 and a 90. Okay, I'll say 93. I'm feeling spicy. And I actually think she'll get a higher 80s, early 90s for that particular run. So we'll definitely see. And hopefully for her third run, she's a little more comfortable and can pull out a even spicier run. Because, I mean, these people are throwing peppers all over the track. And as the competition goes on, we're going to see more and more and more higher scores. Or should I say higher and higher and higher scores, because, of course, you're not supposed to see more and more. So there it is. Whoop. Great score, Katie. Proud of you. That's a 90. And, yes, if you haven't noticed, I avoid trying to pronounce the last name. For the third run, I shall gift you with another great pronunciation of that. I've practiced actually for the last 2 days. Let's see if I can keep it going. So this Ivar, in his next run, you know, you'd think you'd see a lot more of the ISs over here. I mean, they're very capable cars. And he is actually driving this car. This guy is one of those people that you see in a car and say he's very comfortable in it. And just as I said that, everything went wrong. So I guess I'm jinxing people, so I'm going to stop saying things like that. Of course, this is going to be a goose egg. Fortunately, it's going to be a 0 because we didn't drift. I don't know if that's a maintenance problem. Like I said, I hope that's not the case, and he just kind of bobbled a little bit. Rank 13 so far. All right, let's see. Third run, I think he's going to do better, unless the car is broke. And then if he doesn't get it fixed in time, then he's not going to make it. So, Evgeny, Actually, for a 2J, he's actually one of the lower horsepower on the ends of the 2Js, especially over here since you've got 1,000 horsepower 2Js. And he was doing well, but I guess this is just his rhythm is off. I pray he makes it through all the way through the end. He doesn't give up. That way he gets points on the board. But, and you know, it's a shame because earlier he was really hitting the lines, hitting the zones. He was having problems coming through that initial area. But when he hit it, he hit it. Hopefully his third run, he can get that cleaned up. Like I said, because he's more than capable of doing the qualifying runs. And a couple of the fans have told me that he's actually a pretty good tandem driver too. So that would have been nice to see, especially since I don't see a lot of convertible 8.0 Supras running around. And like I said, it was unfortunate that he didn't have a really good run at that particular time. Let's see if the judges are gonna. Oh, okay. So he got an 82. So it's better than his first run. Let's see if he can squeak that up into the 90s for the next one. Only time can tell. So coming up is one of the power drivers on the circuit. Let's see, make sure I pronounce this right. It's Alexei Golovnya. And I love S13s, personally. So I'm already going to say, hi. 930 horsepower, and this dude drives it 930 horsepower worse. As you can see, his tires are mad at him because he's trying to kill him. This dude is dancing the car. This is a car dance. This is one of the better runs that we've had today. He could have actually made that last zone a little better, but that was a powerful, beautiful run. And I know we'll see more of that. Hopefully the judges didn't see the slight bobble on the entry. I don't know if they're counting that or not, but I'm going to use my telepathic powers once again. And actually, I know telepathy has nothing to do with seeing the future, but let's just play with me. Between 94 and 95, let's see if that's what the judges are going to do. For him, and you got to love when they come around the corners in those plume of smoke. And this guy's definitely going to be around. Okay, so there was obviously some stuff going on in the background that I didn't catch. But once I said they got a different view than I had. 88. All right, so I guess I'm not as touched as I thought I was. But all the judges today are professionals. So we got Sergei Sak. He's another well-known racer in this particular area. He's had good, clean practice runs today. And we'll see if that will hold up. Joe's kind of a heavy transition right here. He's following it through. It seems like he's not going as fast as he was actually during the practice run. He might be focusing more on getting points than showtime. But there's still one of the faster runs, and we'll see. I think he's going to get a good score. And you know what? I'm going to stop shooting myself in the face like I've been doing so far and just stop guessing scores. And so the thing about the judges we have today is we have from Formula D, Ryan. Great judge, and a couple of gentlemen that judge for the actual RDS series judging today. So it's good, firm, trustworthy scoring today. It's none of that weirdness. So we can trust if they give the guy 88, it's an 88. If they give him a 98, it's a 98. 90, okay, so that was a good solid run from Sergei Sak and his BMW E46. So, here we go. I've been practicing this name for the last 2 days. This is Fedor Zitsits. And this guy is a powerful driver, nice person. but really professional. Lays down really solid lines. There was a bobble right at that particular point. I think I'm jinxing people today. Oh, wow. Okay. Stop jinxing people. Well, it's his first run, so I think he's going to warm up, be able to get good placement. He's one of the popular drifters over here in RDS. And hopefully everybody watching today, especially my constituents from America, UK, and even English-speaking people from Russia and the Russian people speaking people from Russia, to everybody. I hope that you will find an interest in RDS because it's a great series. The competition is great. The cars are great. If you want to invest your time in one of the series, and there's a lot popping up all over the world, but this is definitely one that's worth the watch. So please feel free or even feel obligated because Greg said do it. Check out RDS for the future stages. And they're going all over Russia. So you get to see a lot of the beautiful tracks they have over here. And this track is F1 standards easily. It's not F1 certified, but they built it toward the spec. So please tune in the other stages that you can see on RDS. RDS loves you. And we love RDS. Continue on. So we're getting ready for the next stages here. And since we have a few seconds, I'm going to flip back to our Japanese constituents. 皆さん、今日はあんま高い点数は取る人があんまおらんけど、今回のコースはモスコレースウェイ、今回のコースは結構難しいコースで。So Fedor got 69 points. So here we go. We have one of the guest competition people here, Christophe Blus. He is driving with the team Evil Empire. And this guy is a beast with claws, fangs, teeth, a mallet, club, hammer. Okay, so there's a slight bobble in the entry, but we'll see if he powers through. Wow, okay. Like I said, it's the first round. I think he's going to get it together for the nuts. Now, as you can see, as he exits out of there, that car knows it's being driven. And he's driving it hard and he's going to put it away wet. So, he's he's an awesome driver. I'm pretty sure his next round, or should I say the next section, or his next qualifying run is going to get him a lot more points than this particular one. He's one of the more well-known drivers. He actually drives for FD. If everybody knows, he drives the Eurofighter. He's actually borrowing this car, and like I said, anybody that can go somewhere and borrow a high-powered car and still place high, to me, is just an example of a great driver. And Christophe Blus is a very popular, well-known driver. So he got an 87. So we expect high 90s from him in his next two runs. So time will tell, but I know he can do it because the dude, as I said, is a beast with claws and a hammer. So we've got Evgeny Lusev, and we will see how he enters into this run. This guy is one of the most aggressive drivers in this entire series. He likes to drive. He always said he always wanted to drive against Daigo, so hopefully he gets the opportunity to actually fight against Daigo-san today. He's really one of those heavy, throw the car into the corner and accelerate types. As you can see him accelerating through the end of the track or the end of the course, that there is no fear in his heart at all about driving which is a car that you don't see a lot over here, the old school, the 8.1 Mark II. 2JZ. It's actually a really clean build. And boom, he hit that second zone I would say a little too early to really get a good line, but he actually got good angle and was able to pull it through. So there's not a lot of drivers that could have actually done the line like he did just now. I mean, granted, it takes horsepower, but it takes a lot of skills to still pull out a great run, even though you had slightly offset line on the actual initiation. So hopefully the judges will favor that. And 88, okay, so that was a solid run considering that the first two zones were kind of iffy, and the clipping point was, but I definitely think that Lucef will be able to get in the mid 90s or even top 90s, one of the best drivers here. So we have Nikita Scoffs, who is another driver that was doing well during practice. He's the only FT 86 or a Hachiroku, as they say in Japan, in this particular competition. And he's been laying down some nice thick smoke tire lines, and has always had good angle coming through the clipping point zone. Of course, he kind of washed out right there. Well, not washed out. He's still getting busy, if you will, but it was kind of wide. So we'll see how the judges are going to give him on that run. Like I said, another key point in today's run is to not get off throttle until you actually cross that finish pylon. Some guys may make that mistake, and you will get deducted points for it because it is necessary as part of the scoring system. He actually had a nice wide line on that particular part of the section. Of course, the clipping point was a little wide, so I think he might get one of the better scores. I'm not even going to guess because, as y'all have already heard, I am all over the place with the scoring system, and let the judges do their job because I am not doing it. 89, okay, so it's good enough for rank 9. So I think his second and third run might be stronger. So we have got, hold on, I'm going to say this. Right, Mr. Golovnia. And I guarantee this is going to be another great run. And I know it's going to happen. It's about to happen. And here we are, coming in hard. Dip to the first zone. All right, came to the touch and go. He could have been farther out, but that was still fine. He's got relatively wide line out there. He hit the clipping point, one of the best clipping point clips so far in today's action. Throttled all the way through the finish zone. And a lot of you can't see through the video is, or should I say through the live replay, is the long stretch is a relatively decent decline. It's actually, I'm not going to say it's an extremely steep hill, but it's a pretty decent gradient down through the corner. And then when you get through this swoop here, it's actually an incline. So it actually makes for interesting, of course, these guys are professionals, but, speed differences and all the other things come into play. And it's actually cool to watch. And, the fans like cool. I like cool. That's why I became a fan, right? So that's one of the things about this course that stands out from a lot of courses is that incline and the decline on your initiation into your output. So there it is. Like I predicted earlier, the point increase is starting to creep up, 93. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled a 98 or 99 out today, but we'll see with his last run if that's going to happen. So Sergei Sak in his E46 BMW, 600 horsepower 2JZ, is ready for this next run, and I think he's going in. Like I said, I really like the way this car is built up too, out in the paddock, big solid build. Of course, these are pro level cars. I didn't see any sloppy builds out here today. As we come through here, all right, he hit that clutching point. I'm not really sure if his the long sweep line was good enough for him to get a really, really high score, but like I said, it depends on the judges. They're out there, they're watching this in 3D, and I'm here checking this 2D screen out, so it's hard for me to gauge exactly how well it was. He did come through. Like I said, he came in hot. All right, that second touch and go, he could have been a little closer to that, but the decent angle may pick up for it. He could have had a little more angle coming out of the, actually entering into the sweep, but I think he might have done well enough to at least have a decent score into the next one. So we will see here in a few minutes what is going on with that. And there it is. He actually got a better score than his first run. So that's cool. All right. So another solid run by Sergey. And we are set up for this next section. So Fyodor Zizits. Okay, said it. I know I said it right. And even if I said it wrong, I meant to say it right. It's it's actually not a very common name in Russia either. So, like I said, this guy's a very strong driver. Stable mind. He's the type that really thinks about his lines and really focuses. So, we'll see. Okay, he's having a problem getting the rear end out in the actual initiation. Hopefully he pulls through. Wow, okay, so again, there's obviously something going on there. I don't know if it's a concentration issue or just might be something the matter with the vehicle. Not really sure. He was doing a lot better like during the practice runs. Well, like I said, he still has one more opportunity for an optimum get busy, as I say. And I think we should get a better score from him on this last run. At this point, it's do or die. As the competition goes on, people are putting and stacking up better and better scores. So if you don't go ahead and get your points in now, you might not be able to make it into the next round. Hopefully, Mr. Zizits gets to the next round. I wish him nothing but good luck. Like I said, strong driver, great guy. So we've got a lower score. But he's got one more run. We'll see if he can pull it out. He's more than capable of doing it. I've actually witnessed it during the practice run. So here we go again, Mr. Christopoulos. Very aggressive. Very this guy like wheel speed, if you will. There'll be a lot of smoke on this run. I'm predicting it. I'm using my powers to see the future, and booyaka. There's the smoke. It's coming in hot. If you notice, I noticed in a lot of the Russian 8.0 Supras that they have that front end. It's kind of like a shark. I think it's very interesting. The inline and the bobble on that actual entry. We'll see what kind of score the judges will give him. Very aggressive one once again, Christopoulos, Formula D driver, one of the best drivers of the day. Very respected in not just Russia, but in America and a lot of other places. So he's actually it was my pleasure to watch him during the practice runs, and it was almost like he was giving an exhibition. He was driving that car. So hopefully the next round he'll be able to put on a great performance like he did earlier, and it'll be beautiful because we all like beauty, and drifting is beautiful, aggressively beautiful. It's like a golden spike back. So there we go with that. More of my mindless meanderings, because that's what I do. 90. Okay, so he got a better score. So let's see if he can kick into the upper 90s for his last run. And here we go. Now this guy's a big guy. I was talking to him earlier, and I said, "Hey, you're a big guy." And he said, "I am the biggest." So that tells you his mentality, and that's how he drives. He drives hard, and he is playing no games today. So we'll see Mr. Yosef. Came with an exaggerated line on the touch and goes, but he's still looking really, really good. Really, really good through here. And the kickback. So I'm expecting a decent score for him. He's actually not driving as hard as he was driving earlier. I think he might be focused on getting points. I'm not really sure what the game plan is. He might be actually trying to have cleaner transitions because the style judge may be looking for that. But earlier and other times I've seen him drive, I mean, he is a serious, he flicks that car across the track like a beast. He has a really aggressive Japanese drift style type of technique that you usually see him see. And if he makes it through the tandem, you might see it again. I think that was just more of one of those concentrated, let me get some points, let me get through the qualifying run, let me clean it up and then click. And like I said, it was cleaned up. He got a better score than he did the first time, and I wouldn't be surprised if his last run, he either reverted back into his very aggressive style, or once again he'll go for the higher point run that he did just there. But he's easily one of the type of people that will get into the upper 90s. So here we go, Mr. Nikita Scoffs. 900 horsepower in his GT Hachiroku or GT 86. I think they call them Skians in America. I don't know. I live in Japan now. And he is coming in hot. Yes. Show me the money. That was a slight bobble, but he came through. He has a nice sound line, if you will. It could be a little farther out. Kind of swung out on that tipping point. But it is a good solid run. We'll see if he can better or top his first run with that. And he throttled too. But after you pass that last pylon or cone, then the judge is no longer looking, so, or should I say they no longer judge on it. So it just shows how aggressive. And like I said, he is not afraid, or this is the first time I said it, but he's not afraid to throw a lot of angle in as he comes through. And he actually has one of the more angle runs so far. But we'll be seeing, we should be having Daigo Saito coming up soon. And we will be having smoke, heat, fire. Children will be crying. People will be wondering what's going on, because he is one of the beastiest drivers on the planet. And he shall be coming up soon. And there it is, 91. So, okay, so he did better than his first run, which is great. And, wow, I have got those mental powers again. Is Daigo Saito ready for a big bowl of get busy? You know, you can expect nothing but high entry speeds, heavy smoke, technical lines, quick entries, angle. As you can see, he's actually hit that up. He's a little more side brakier than I'm used to seeing him doing, but he has 1,000 horsepower, so that's more than enough to compensate. And he's got the golden touch on that steering wheel, so the combination of an awesome car is 1,000 horsepower, and it only weighs 1,000 kilos. So he basically has 1 horsepower for every kilo of his car. So it's lightweight. The engine is set back for balance purposes. It's just an amazing build. If you ever get a chance, look it up on the internet or go to an event that he's going. It's an amazing car. And I'm not just saying that because I live in Japan and he's a Japanese driver. This guy is a legend. And once again, he gave us a great performance. So we'll see what the judges give him. And I couldn't even imagine trying to tandem with him putting a cloud of smoke across the entire track like that. If you're not door to door to him, then you're just lost in your emotions. So we'll see what kind of score he got for there. 皆さん当たり前、大悟さんが高い点数が取りまして94点。さすが伝説ドリフター D1 champion. So I just gave a shout out to our people that may be watching for Japan or anywhere you're at in Japanese speaking. And here's another one of the legends over here. So, with his 1,200 horsepower R34, personal friend of mine, we've got Arkady Saragratsev. Sarayguratsev. Yes, it's another one. I got that. Do the names. And here we come with a good entry. He's actually one of the more solid. He did a solid performance at the FIA Japan. Great driver, great family man. And as you can see, he's hitting the 2 points. There was a slight correction on the long sweep, but you can see 1,200 horsepower all over the track. He put numbers down. That was a nice run. That was beautiful. And that's another person that I would hate to have to try to tandem with, because all you see is a plume of smoke. You know, it's almost like staring into a broken dream. You can't do nothing but get sad about that. But moving on, he is one of the higher ranked racers. I've actually seen him in Gocha actually perform, and it's always impressive. It's always impressive. Throttle work. He does not decelerate until he's deep into the deceleration zone. So we're here looking forward to him. I expect him, and at some point him and Daigo in a tandem, and that would be amazing. They might even have to break out the fans, because it's going to take a while to get rid of the clouds. And there it is. Monster score from Arcady. Like I said, wonderful person, great driver at 1,200 horsepower. It's a VR38, your GTR engine. So here we go, 500 horsepower, which is tend to be typical for the LSs that you're going to see in the series today. That is Mr. Alex Dmitrenko, or Mitrenko, and his Nissan Silvia S15, which is common to see over here in Russia, as well as, of course, Japan, and I guess most of the leagues. It's a great balanced car, a lot of traction, lightweight, and a lot of options you can do with it. So that's just for the people who don't know how things work. So he came a little short. He was having problems with his entries earlier today. It looked like he might have had that worked out, but and there it goes. It's the bobble. It's almost as if he has too much traction for power, perhaps. Who knows? He was having similar problems earlier. Might be engine issues. When they were running the car yesterday, it seemed like it was just a lot stronger than it is today. So it might be a suspension setup, but don't get me into speculating. Hopefully he'll get it worked out. He has a couple of more runs. It's kind of tough being in the same heat with a champion and a legend, but I know he'll come through. This guy's another one of the solid drivers. And in the future, he's actually going to have a breakout car that is going to be a definite only one in the world type of a build, but I'm not going to give up any secrets. Just keep in mind that it's coming in the future. I actually got to see pictures of it, and it's going to be amazing. So for the next 2 or 3 rounds, he'll be driving this S15, and hopefully he'll either get that over too much traction or power balance or whatever is causing the bobbles knocked out. He didn't get a goose egg, and I expect that he'll definitely be able to rank higher than he did now. So we'll see. So here we go with Denis Ripkin, 600 horsepower 2J, which is about your mid-level power for this series as far as the 2Js go, or the Daje Zetto is what they call it over here. And you gotta love the accent. So this guy's coming in hot, you know, and I've noticed during practice, he drives like he's late for work. This guy, every zone that he hits, he's hitting. Am I jinxing people? What's going on? This guy's a really aggressive driver. A lot of talent. You can see as he comes into the entry that he picks the spots on the course and he fills the zones. Fortunately for whatever happened there, it was kind of a tight line, but whatever happened there that caused for him to pull out of the drift will be able to be corrected in his next couple of runs. But he is actually one of those people that actually line up each area, and he's able to hit each zone. So I expect that we'll get higher scores from him in the next 2 ranks or 2 rounds. Here we go. So we have Alexander Kudenov, The only 1J in the competition today, 480 horsepower, so he's one of the lower horsepowers, but he is one of those people that commit. And if you got lower horsepower in a long sweep such as this, commitment is the key. Commitment and a line. So hopefully we'll see him do that. And I expect nothing but good runs from this guy, so we shall see. Okay. What just... Wow, what just happened here? The car's not moving. I wonder if he... All right, he got it moved, must have stalled out. Not really sure what's going on with that. Whew, well, that's going to be a 0. Well, hopefully we'll see more of him. He has like the really simple look on his Mark II. Clean, not a lot of stickers, everything. I actually like that classic look. It's more of like the mountain racing you see in Japan. And the paint job is beautiful. And it's a very powerful car. So hopefully it's not broken. And he'll be able to compete his runs. It'd be a shame if he dropped out early and didn't get all of his runs in. He's one of those type of drivers that could have definitely made it to the tandem section or the tandem part of this series. So, but we shall see. Okay, so obviously we do have an issue here. Oh man, that's a shame. Well, hopefully he'll get it fixed and be able to time to get his next runs. But he might have a transmission or a differential issue. No, that's a shame. Poor guy. That's bad luck. So once they get him moved out of the way. And for the Japanese fans. Oh, wow. Okay. It's moving on its own power. So I'll retract that and I'll go back into my breakdown for our visitors in the Far East after we get another few seconds of nothing going on. So we're setting up. Here we go. Daigo for his second run. So far, Arcadie's got a 98. So we'll see if Saito can pull out a 90. I mean, it's obvious that he's definitely capable of doing it, but hopefully the drift gods are with him. And man, he's coming in hot. This is just the speed, how he just locks into his angle. You can definitely tell that this guy is one of the top drifters in the world. And he's coming around. So that was a good, solid run. His first run, as I said, there was a couple of times where he was doing not too many visual corrections, but you were seeing a lot of side brake or emergency brake. And this time he's actually coming in with less of those particular corrections. So let's see what the judges have to say. Let's see if he's got a higher score than he did before. Like I said, I would think the dream matchup today would definitely between him and Arcadie, because both of them are 1,000 horsepower plus. And when you get two great drivers in monstrous machines, it's nothing but happiness. I mean, granted, you're only going to see one of them because the person in the back is going to get caught lost in the clouds. So there it is, 97. So he's gotten the third top score of the day. He still has one more round, so we can see if he pull out first. Now let's see if Arcadie can pull out a perfect score. He's gotten over 100 before, and he actually got an amazingly high score. I can't remember exactly what it was, but during the FIA competition in Untitled Japan last year, I actually got to witness that, and that was just amazing. So, all right, he hit that last, the out touch and go. quite aggressively. So, oh, boy, that is out of character. Huh. What happened with that? And there we go with the sportsman. Put your hands up. I am the man. I'm going to wave at y'all. I make a mistake. I take responsibility, and I'm going to have a better run than last time is what I would be thinking if I was that good. But nonetheless, we don't really know what happened there. It's obviously not machine trouble. So I guess it was just a mistake. And even some of the greater drifters do that. It happens. So, but he's got the highest score so far today. And the next run will show if he can even see. I would like to see somebody get into the hundreds today. And there's quite a few drivers that are quite capable of getting into the 95, 96, 97, 98 areas. So that is, that was unexpected for Arcady to get a 0. But we'll see. So here we go. Mr. Mitrinko. We'll see what he's got going on here in his 500 horsepower Nissan Silvia. Like I said earlier, this guy is one of the other strong drivers. 500 horsepower is not the highest. It's more on the lowest side of horsepower for the cars that are going in the event today. So we shall see what kind of wonderfulness he'll be bringing to the track for us to feast upon once we get the green flag. 今回皆さん大悟さんが97、ケイダさんが98。だから最後の水槽のイベントになったらめっちゃ面白いことになると思うんで、1000馬力対1200馬力対水槽、どっちもケイデはラッシュに対して伝説的に斉藤さんも同じぐらい有名な人で、まあ同じぐらいっていうか、大悟さんは完全ドリフトレジェンド。いいことはなるしかないから、そういうドリームマッチアップになってます。And here we go, Mr. Mitrinko is having a better run than the first time. Seems like he's found his power band a lot better. I actually like that last flick out. Unfortunately, he had some trouble on his initiation. So hopefully he can get a decent score. Let's see how the judges are going to hit him with that in his actual, the initial portion. As you can see a little, I'm not sure if he was doing more angle so he can have a little easier time getting his tires running, getting into his power band, or that was a bobble, but we'll see. It was like I said, the first run, he was having definite issues with keeping the rear end out and actually keeping his drift maintained. This time he was able to keep it all the way through. So there's a good chance that when he comes into his actual last run or last round, he'll find that sweet spot and deliver us the sugary drift that we've all been waiting for. So we got 73 at 81. Put him in the 19th place. We shall see what is going to happen in round 3. Rhyme unintentional. And now we got Dennis Ripken coming in his Toyota Supra, 600 horsepower, which is mid-level. And mid-level is your friend. Here we go. It's more than enough horsepower for this track. And like I said, this guy picks his lines and he carries through pretty decently, and he's actually having oh man, that is an unfortunate bobble. Wow. And he had a pretty good start, so that is sad. Okay, well, what happened there? Oh, well, like I said, man, I'm actually kind of shocked. I thought that was going to go a lot better for him. And this guy is like fully committed into every zone and clip that he does. It's really a shame that that happen, and we'll see if the judges are going to give him the 0, the rounder. Are we going to see if... I would be curious to see what his ranking is going to be. I just think that was just a mistake. And we all have it, or we all do that, if you will. But like I said, you see a lot of the guys out there tuning in. If it's the first time you've seen him and a couple of the other drivers that have had issues earlier today in the previous runs, they are definitely professional drivers. They're really good. Just, different thing, bad timing, car problems, mistakes. But there are no beginners out here on this track. Let me tell you, if you had seen some of the practice runs, it was amazing drifting going on. The practice tandems, really tight. The lines were really good. So, okay, so 64. So, okay, well, he still has one more run to try to get higher rank than he has at this point. Good luck on that. I think he is capable of doing it, and we shall see. And Alexander Kudanov is about to do better. Last time seemed like he had problems. The car stalled out for a minute. We thought it was going to have to tow him off. So hopefully whatever the issue was is straight. It's the only 1J in the competition, and we want 1J to be okay. So let's see. All right, so he's coming in. He was a little, not a lot of angle. Okay, so all right, so we're having some struggling this time. Hopefully make it around the track, get some points on the board, rally up, get his thoughts together, whatever's going on with the car, get that worked out, and come back for third round and have, as people who know me, I say all the time, buttery toffee drift isms. So, and please forgive me, I make nouns verbs regularly. I make verbs nouns. It's just what I do. Love me or leave me alone. And as you can see, the bobble coming into that late corner. That's really unfortunate. And for my Japanese fans, こういう大会ってうるさいのリベリーとか何もついてないまま、もう峠が出てきそうような車を見るとめっちゃ懐かし感がするんで、まさかモスクワまだ来て峠車が見えることはない。で、彼は一応81点が取りましたから、結構最初は0。最後のラウンドがもっといい点数取ればいい。And so he pulled out an 81. So that's actually a really good score for him. As you can see, our top 8 is all 93s and up. So the lower scores, the guys are going to have to start getting their game up, or people are going to start getting bumped out, obviously. Of course, that's how it works. So the top 10 has no scores less than 92, as you can see. So the breakdown to the top 20 should be all in the 80s. So those guys that are in the 70s and stuff really need to kick their game up if it's possible. I never want to see anybody miss the next qualification round. But, of course, if everybody stayed to the end, then it wouldn't be a competition now, would it? And, of course, up to top 20. So, all right. So it's actually a couple of upsets going on here. A couple of the strong drivers have had low scores. And so that's really unfortunate. Hopefully, everybody that can stay can get whatever they need dialed in, so we can have some often or awesome drift party time for the rest of the qualification run. And congratulations to our top 10. That was great driving. Top 20. Once again, that's great driving. And we'll be taking a break to set up and see what's going on for the next section. Stay tuned. I will be here with you for the rest of your Stage 1 RDS visit. said, please stay tuned.